Manchester United raised their season ticket prices and other tickets for the third year running. 5% rise for all season ticket holders, unless you are under 16. We're going to go through this announcement and what has been said by the club. We're going to listen to what Omar Barada has also had to say. I want your opinions in the live chats. Have your say if you're a match-going fan, if you're not a match-going fan. Do you feel like this is right? We've got a simple poll. Do you agree in the rises? Do you think they're fair? Yes or no? Get involved in that. Obviously, if you're playing catch up later, you're not back from work or whatever reasons you aren't watching live, not good. I'm only joking. Then get your comments in below as well. Let me know what you think. We're going to go through all of the transfer speculation later on in the show as well, but we have to start with the announcement that has come out of Manchester United this afternoon, and that is that season ticket prices will go up as we expected. Did anybody, in fact, that's something I want to ask the chat as well, did anybody expect the season ticket prices to be frozen? Like, most have called for it. Fab, the supporters group, have asked for it. Did you really think that Sir Jim Ratcliffe, in the situation we're in right now, the Glazers, are stopping Sir Jim Ratcliffe making this announcement? Because it is on Ineos, it is on them. The Glazers are standing back. Now, as Sir Jim Ratcliffe has told us, he has said, you're doing a good job. That's what the Glazers told him, and just get on with it. So we have to put this on Ineos' toes this time. We know what the Glazers are and what they've left us with, but this announcement solely, I think, rests with Ineos. Of course, they will get the go-ahead from the Glazers, and they are still the main issue at United and always have been. But let's discuss whether we think this is right. And I think this is what we need to discuss as a fan base right now together. I've got my opinions on it. I've always had my opinions on it, and you know. But I want to get your thoughts as well on this show tonight, on this one, because this involves everybody. Because even if you're not a season ticket holder, the prices are still going to be more expensive for Manchester United. We're going to go through the key points in this as well, because where it looks like 5% is not enough, and on average they're saying that it's £2.50 a ticket. It's not bad. It's not as bad as it could have been, what I thought it was going to be. So that's just my opinion on it. I do believe there's a lot of people jumping on this on some accounts, and some people bigging this up to build their own profiles and jump on what is trending right now in the hate for Ineos and the Glazers. And I think that's wrong. And they really probably haven't even been into Old Trafford before, and it's not affecting them. I do believe there is an element of that. And to make it clear on that side of things, I'm not saying match-going fans have got more of a say in this matter, because everybody gets a chance to go to Old Trafford at some point, and the prices are going to be maybe too expensive for you to go. They're arguing not the club at the moment with this. But as a season ticket holder, in fact, I've got 3 season tickets, so this is going to obviously affect me a lot than other people as well. I've had other season ticket holders message me as well already saying, going to have to think about this now, maybe not. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, 5% in reality, and if it is an average of £2.50 a ticket, it doesn't sound like a lot. But it's the little extras that are creeping in, and some things that people didn't know about within the hikes when you read into the detail that are now creeping into Manchester United. For instance, I'm just going to get through a few bits of this now so we know exactly where we're up to. So you're all up to date with everything that's actually going on, but must have done a massive piece, big extracts, and it is all on what the statement is from Manchester United. And yeah, it's going to be a case of other things changing as well as the ticket prices. Just to make sure you're clear as well, under 16s, the price is frozen for them. I said that in the opening of the video, just so you know what I mean by that. It is just that under 16s won't be paying any more no matter what, and their explanation for that was that they want to make it affordable for the future generations of Manchester United fans to come and support the football team, and that was the United explanation on that as well. There is the discount for the pension aged people, and that is going with the government pension age. So if you're 66, you will get 25% discount on your ticket as well if you're a pensioner. Maybe that is not a lot. I think it did used to be 50% at one point to a certain certain members of the public at a certain age. There was a discrepancy in that though, and it got a bit murky watered, so they've rounded it up to just going with the pension age. So if you are 66 and above, you get 25% off as well. So they're the concessions, and that's it. Under 16s only, and anyone over that will have a price hike. Well, it's a hike, if you want to call it that. That's quite substantial, but there is going to be a price rise for all tickets unless you are under 16, pretty much. So yeah, let's get into some of the details on this. Now, when you look at it and you say £2.50 a ticket, honestly, You can't even buy a coffee at Starbucks for that. So you can argue that point, and I will argue that point because I'm fair and I'm balanced. And I don't care if you think I'm bigging anything else up or anyone who works at the football club. It's £2.50. On an average, that probably could have been a lot worse. And Fab, the supporters football group at United, who have communicated with Manchester United on this and been open in communications, they've also made a point in saying that we appreciate what Sir Jim Ratcliffe has done in being open and talking to fan groups and committing to the future of open dialects with fan groups as well. And they feel like they have played a part in this not being worse than what it is. They feel like they have pushed for this. What they thought and what they said is fair. And I do agree with Fab on this one. It's like, and I've always said this, where I expect season tickets to go up. And this, by the way, is for the next 2 seasons as well. So there's a 5% this season, and there's going to be another 5% next season. So this is going into Manchester United's 2026-27 season as well. It's going to go up again. So we already know this now. We know the ticket prices are going up. And the only way that they can counter this right now, before we get into the details, is by getting a team on the pitch that actually gets Manchester United further up that table, so we don't have to keep hiking prices and keep blaming the fans for the misfortune and the mismanagement of Manchester United for the last 2 decades. Because that's basically where the fans' argument is. What they have said to Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the board is that we, the fans, should not be paying for the mistakes of the Glazers and everything that they have done, where they understand the position of Ineos and them having to deal with this financial situation in appreciation with Sir Jim Ratcliffe being the first man in history really since United were floated to actually invest money and his own money into the football club. They do appreciate that. Their argument is, did this need to come so quickly? Now, I have backed this argument all along. I expect the prices to go up. I expect them to continue to go up with inflation and normal rises that you would expect to every single club within the Premier League. It just happens in every walk of life, doesn't it? So, when you look at it, fair enough, it goes up. Did it need to happen now? To this level? Did everything have to change so dramatically now? And you could say 5% is not dramatic. I understand that as well. But everything else at the football club and then a ticket pricing. Would it have not been better, Fab said, to actually just freeze season ticket prices this season, this summer, to make a point and a stand against what has been a poor run football club for the last 2 decades, like we said? Would it have been better just to wait out this season to show and mark your intent that you are looking to change this football club but not make the fans suffer for it? That's their argument, and I get that, and I get where they're coming from. I still argue the point that 5% is not dramatic. I do get that, but there are other changes which are probably more of an issue that a lot of United fans are getting their backs up about. And there's a few people that don't know these other changes right now. So let's just get into a couple of them. Relocating fans from behind the dugouts to sell their seats at premium prices. Increasing the season ticket holders' minimum usage requirements to 16 from 15 from last season. I'll go through these in a minute. A £10 charge for selling your ticket back to the club for less than 2 weeks before the game. And that's... that, for me, really, is the issues alongside this. Look, the big one is, of course, upping the prices when United are in their worst ever era. Like, the football's crap. It has been crap all season, and you're upping the prices for fans to pay premium prices pretty much for crap football. So they've got to do a lot in the summer to turn that around. That's the biggest argument. But these 3 bits here alongside this, and there's more as well. So, first of all, relocating fans from behind the dugouts to sell their tickets for premium prices. So what that means and what will happen there is the likes of the South Stand season ticket holders, maybe even our friend Graham, his ticket will be moved. They will try and relocate them people, because Graham, who is in the chat quite often, is a season ticket holder as well. He sits behind the dugouts, just below the press box to the right-hand side of the dugouts. And you all know where that is within Manchester United's South Stand. Them seats are now going to be opened up to premium executive season ticket prices or ticket prices, whichever way you want to put it. Now, that I don't agree with, because I have been moved myself 3 times in Old Trafford because they wanted to put different sections in place all over. I was moved because of the singing section, and they didn't want my son to stand next to me. They didn't think that someone who was under the age of 16 could stand there and chant and cheer. It was too much, but we're okay to sell me and my son's tickets to away games and go with the hardcore fans there. But you're not allowed to do that in Old Trafford. No, you're not allowed to do that. Completely wrong. So I get the arguments with any season ticket holder who sits behind that dugout who is now going to be moved. They are going to relocate them in another section of Old Trafford. And do you know what will happen there? Because they're moving them, and this has happened to me right now, and this is where United have got it wrong. And I'm going to tell you this from personal experience now as to what is going to happen. Someone like Graham will be moved from his seat. I don't know if it's a definite. I just know Graham sits behind the dugout. But just as an example, someone who sits there, he will be moved in the stadium because they're going to put a cushion on that seat and charge someone probably £800 a ticket or something like that. Because, yes, that is what some of the tickets cost at Manchester United. And behind the dugout, it's going to be a premium. And that's where they're going to make up a little bit of what they wanted to charge, which has been brought back down to 5%, if you get where I'm going with this. So, Graham will be moved to another section of the stadium, and because he doesn't want to move and it's his right to stay in that seat, that's what he's bought, they will have to subsidise him in that seat that they move him to. Therefore, the guy who sat behind him could actually be paying more than what Graham's paying because United have moved Graham. This is what will happen at the club. It's happened to me. The guy behind me pays £300 more than I do, and he sits behind me. There's no difference. He pays £300 more, same age group, everything. That's what will happen, and this is what causes chaos and all of the disgruntled fans within Old Trafford. This is the issue that they're creating here right now by trying to find another executive section. They came in and they moved the one from the Stretford end, and everyone was like, whoa, it is all about the football. But now they're creating another executive section for season ticket holders who've probably been there. And I can tell you right now, just from my experience from being in Old Trafford in the press box the other day, there was about 20, 30 platinum season ticket holders there. And platinum, you know, because their names are plastered onto their seats. As in, they have got a sticker on their seats with their name on them because they've been at the club supporting it and a season ticket holder for a certain amount of years. And everybody who's got a season ticket knows it goes red, silver, gold, platinum. Platinum, you get your name on your seat, and them fans have been sat there for years. These are the seats that people and these are the seats that Manchester United are going to be moving around, and they're going to have to subsidise them because they don't want to move, just so they can make more money from them seats, and they will make an absolute fortune from them seats. I can tell you that right now. People will pay an arm and a leg to sit in them seats. And it isn't fair on them fans. That's what will happen there as well. Going on to the next piece in this one, which is interesting. Increasing the season ticket holder minimum usage requirement. So last season, there was a point where United fans were arguing with the club because they upped the minimum usage. What that means is, if you don't go to 15 of the 19 home games that you have bought your season ticket for, if you don't go and your ticket hasn't been scanned in for 15 games this season, you lose your season ticket. You cannot renew it next season. That's the rule that the club have brought in. They've upped that now from 15 to 16 this season, so you can only miss 3 games. If you did want to send your ticket back to the football club, though, and this is point 3 that fans will be pissed off about, if you wanted to send that ticket back to Manchester United, you lose £10 of its value. And you don't get the value of the ticket back. So effectively, the season ticket you have paid for up front, if you can't make a game, you are punished and put under pressure to actually sell the ticket back to the club, lose money from what you've already paid for it. If you don't send it back, then you'll lose your season ticket next season, which some people, like I've just said then, would have had for 30 years plus. They don't care. And that is the problem that they're creating. 15% increase in parking charges. So if you've got a parking ticket outside of Old Trafford or one of the car parks now, that's going up by 15% as well. And these are the little tiny issues that you're going to come up against with all of this. 5% doesn't seem too bad. It doesn't. And to be honest, I thought it was going to be worse, like I said. But they have thrown a few little other bits in there on this and these hikes in prices. I keep saying hikes. It's not a massive hike, I know. It's only 5%. £2.50 a ticket, yes. But they will make up for that with them premium tickets. There's a big section there in the South Stand. There's quite a few seats there. And if someone's paying about £600 more a game for that ticket, then they are going to make substantially more money. Where they relocate them to, I don't know. They will be up in the East Stand. They will be in the North Stand. They will be higher up than where they was before. Guaranteed. And the fans probably won't like it. I'm going to get through all of this information and then get into the chat in a moment. Sorry for going on so much. I just wanted to make it very, very clear on everything that is going on with these season ticket rises. This has come from Chris Wheeler of the Daily Mail. United will move some fans from seats behind the dugouts to turn them into hospitality areas, reflecting a high value of this usage of this unique location. The club says it appreciates the disruption this will cause those fans and will ensure a suitable alternative seat is found. There won't be a suitable alternative seat found, because there is no better seat in Old Trafford than them South Stand seats. I'm sorry, that's why they're making them a premium. So, yes, you are going to have to really locate them somewhere else and give them some, and that's when the concession comes in. I think that's what will happen. The statement from Must also outlines disappointment that calls for price freezes on tickets has been ignored and major concern with fans facing additional price increases for higher demand games. Adds, we believe the enormous amounts of dialogue that the fan groups have with the club. Just to read this all out in its entirety now. Fan groups have had with the club, alongside public pressure exerted through the media and various protests, help restrain the increase. So that was Must basically saying, look, the fan groups feel that they have stopped it being even bigger in terms of a price rise within Manchester United. This all happening and everything going on with the members side of things as well. There is also, on top of the season ticket situation, members tickets possibly going up for higher valued games. Now the tier system would come back in again, as then you would pay more to watch Manchester United play Liverpool or City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Arsenal, one of these games you would pay a lot more for. It's not going to just be a set price for members. That's going to be brought in as well this season. So where it looks like £2.50 is good and not horrendous, nowhere near what we thought it might be, there is still going to be significant rises throughout the ticketing system at Manchester United next season, and there is no confirmation yet about next season and what we will get there, only that it is going to go up for season ticket holders again by another 5% next season, the season after next, sorry. So yeah, 2 years of rises of 5%. That's pretty much where we're at with it right now. I'm going to get into the comments section. We have some super chats to get through. First of all, thank you to everyone who has donated. First of all, we've got one from Greg who says, I don't like the word average in all of this. That's where the madness will be in this. But I'm remaining open-minded if it's truly about survival. Again, on what Greg said there, the United fans are not going to be convinced that they're just upping the season ticket prices. The United fans are only going to be convinced that this is the right thing to do if we start performing better on the pitch. If they start getting rid of players, if they start to actually bring in the right type of players, if the football gets better, basically, is what we're saying with this. Jeff Steele with another super chat says, not happy with Ineos and the cuts, but surely after price freeze for 11 years, this is acceptable. Massive overreaction from everyone, surely. In terms of that, the price hike. Stop saying hike, Adam, for God's sake. The price rise isn't substantial, mate. No. And some people, like I said at the top of the show, are jumping all over this just to benefit their own profiles. And there will be more people going on about this later on different platforms, talking about this and saying it's the end of the world. And this is just more, ripping the fans off and the ownership is dreadful and everything like that. Look, we all understand what Ineos have got to do. And it's not so much the rise in prices that I'm going on about. I don't think the price rising in the tickets is as bad as it could have been. And it's sort of like a little bit of a sigh of relief for me anyway, It's the other little bits that they're doing and messing around with fans that I don't like. In particular, rerouting fans and making them sit somewhere else from where they've sat for the last God knows how long. Like I said, some have been there for decades, and they're moving them so they can sell their seat for probably, I'm thinking on average, per game, an extra £600 to £700 a game. That's how much more that price will go up. If you're talking general season ticket holders in the South Stand, turning that seat into a executive seat, a premium seat, because it's right in the dugout and it is the best view of the game. If you're talking on average, let's say for instance, they sell a £50 ticket in the East Stand right now, in the top tier. So that's as the cameras are looking at the game on the right-hand side behind that goal. They are selling some of them single tickets with an executive experience for £400 and £500. Can you imagine what they're going to do in the South? So compared to what them ticket holders right now in the South Stand are paying, someone else will pay £600 to £700 more per game to sit in them seats now. That's what will happen. That's how they're going to make the money. They're going to pump up the executive section there. While everyone else in the stadium isn't paying that much, they want to get more people in that section, which will be a few thousand, but you can imagine a few thousand people spending £600 or £700 more than what the previous fan sat there was. That's what the whole point of that's the whole argument about us leaving our season tickets and someone else coming in. If we do give up our season tickets, someone else will be paying more. We know this, but this is taking it to the extreme. I think this is the argument in all of this. Not the actual 5%. It's what they're doing elsewhere around the ground, and they're making the money up there, I feel, more than anything. Just acts like sporting fans who stormed into the ground and players that left the club by feeling threatened. Can you imagine that in England? God, it'd be all over the news worldwide. These owners give not one crap about the fans. Giving up season seats won't work, but weekly protest on TV may make a difference. Let's go Reds. We just had a massive protest and they announced a new stadium 2 days after. So Jim Radcliffe was talking openly about things that are going to change 4 or 5 days after. And then literally a week after the protest, we have got season ticket prices being bumped up and other prices being bumped up around the stadium. Do you think they care about protests? They do not, because they know that everybody will be sat in them seats, no matter who and what kind of supporter you are, where you come from, what part of the world. You will have fans sat there supporting United. The argument that they cannot come back with is the fact that the football is shit and these fans are not watching the best brand of football. So again, that comes down into the recruitment in the summer. Are they going to invest everything that they have saved and made into the playing staff squad and actually cut some of the current playing staff out of this like they have with everybody else? That's what we want to see more of. You got Rawls with another super chat. Thank you, my friend. Again, and thank you once again to everybody who has donated in on the video so far. Please make sure that you give the video a like. Let's get that up to 200 live likes, everyone. The only thing that you get for your higher price tickets is keeping your tickets and maybe a better squad to watch. They won't fix issues like toilets or food at the stadium. Oh, God, I don't think that's going to change now until we get into a new stadium. I really don't. Well, I tell you what, Manchester United's match revenue next season, watch it. Watch it go up. Watch it skyrocket, in fact, with that little plan they've got. Just a few thousand seats in that South Stand will make a huge difference to Manchester United's matchday revenues. Honestly, them people will pay a fortune to sit in them seats. And the fact that the club haven't been able to move the standard seats around the dugout before is proof to me that it was going to be a difficult task, and the only way that they could not bump up the prices around the whole stadium more is by doing this and hitting the minority in that South Stand. And unfortunately, I do know some people who sit there as well. I think Angry Ginger's season ticket is in there. It'd be interesting to see if he gets bumped out. I know Graham's ticket is there, like we said. But yeah, this is all down to them not being able to, with the pressure and the unrest within the fan base, to bump up everybody's season ticket. Another poll in the chat. Did you expect the 5% rise? Thought it would be more. Thought it would be frozen. Thought it would be less. Thought it would be more. 73% of you have said you thought it would be more than 5%. Thought it would be frozen has gone 90%, and thought it would be less is 8% right now. We'll leave that one running. That's just to gauge exactly where everyone is at in terms of what you thought was going to happen. I think everybody, hand on heart, expected Manchester United season ticket prices to go up and ticket prices in general to go up. I don't think anybody expected it not to be. I remember when Sky first took over football in this country, one of the main selling points was ticket prices for match-going fans would be cheaper. Well, that went well. Well, a lot of years. We're many years down the line from that right now. I had a season ticket, mate, but chose not to fund the Glazers anymore. I made my sacrifice because I can't stand the Glazers and Ineos. When did you give up on that one, Sean? Was it when the Glazers came in or just when Ineos came in? Was it more recent, Sean? Tell us a bit more, mate. My phone bill has increased more than that. Happy with 5%, says Martin. See, some people are actually all right with this. Some people ain't got a problem. I think the fear was it was going to go up substantially. And again, the plan was to hit the minority rather than the majority. They'd rather deal with a small group of fans to make their extra money from gate receipts than deal with the whole fan base within the match-going Manchester United community. That, I think, is what their aim was right here with this one. And look, we all know that Manchester United are desperate. We know that the finances, and must have made it very clear. Fab have made it incredibly clear that the main issue at Manchester United has been the Glazers. They do understand the issues that they've got with Ineos and what's happening right now, and they're not forgetting about the investment that Ineos have brought in. They are saying they are welcoming the investment that Sir Jim has put in, but their warnings to Manchester United, the board, and what they knew was going to happen on the unrest that any price rises were going to bring within Manchester United wasn't going to be received well. But they do know, and they have said this in their statements, and it's come through Must as well, that it is the Glazers that have caused all of this problem, and there is a feeling within these statements that I'm seeing that they understand what Ineos are trying to do. But their argument, like I said at the top of the show, was that they just didn't expect it to be so quickly. And that's what they're doing. They're picking up on anything. Right now, if you tried to make any decision at Old Trafford, the majority of the fan base would go in on it and have a moan about it. That's just the way it is. And this is what I've seen with a few of these accounts online and people going in on this. And there's probably some people that have never been to a match before as well. And I don't mean that in any disrespectful way, but a lot of people are just using this news just to big themselves up and join the masses in hate against Ineos and the Glazers. The more important thing is to look into the detail, I feel, and go into where it's really hurting and what fans it is actually hurting more. Because like most people, and the majority in the chat and the poll there on this show right now are saying they expected the rise to be more. Everyone seems to have forgotten when they put the Champions League ticket prices up for the quarter-final and semi-final back when we were decent. Yeah, no, I remember it. I was going. I will deal with the bad news when it happens. I think Graham there in the chat knows what is coming. Look, we don't know what sections of that South Stand are going to be moved, but we know it's going to happen. That's all we can say. That's all we can say. And unfortunately, and I do feel for them fans that have sat there. I have had that situation myself, and I have been moved around Old Trafford quite a bit by United just through their own decisions and announcements. So, yes, that really, it's pretty crap on them fans. It is. And it's only because I've been there, and I know that it's an absolute ball ache. You just don't like it. You've been there talking with supporters and season ticket holders forever and a day, watching Manchester United through thick and thin throughout the years, and then you moved away. Wake up, Adam, and smell the coffee. I have had about 4 coffees today, mate, so I'm all good, but I've just lost your message. I don't know where it's gone. I want to read it back, though, because I feel like it's quite important. Oh, man, where is it? There it is. Rob's back again. Wake up and smell the coffee. Next televised game, turn up, scan your ticket, and then walk out at 20 minutes with non-stop chanting Glazer and Radcliffe out. How's that waking up and smelling the coffee? That's waking up and handing the money over to Manchester United because no one else will do it in the stadium. No, mate. I tried this against Arsenal and no one wanted to do it, so no. The coffee's in my mouth. I'm not just smelling it, mate, I'm afraid. I get what you're saying, and everything against the Glazers will hit them more if no one turns up. But the confidence in Manchester United being able to do what they're doing in the South Stand right now with them tickets tells you everything you need to know. It won't work. It won't work. And that ultimately is where United will win with these tickets, because they know the appeal of this football club. And when we leave, everybody else will come in and take our places. And I mean everybody else from all over the world. They will sell all of our tickets. The fact that Omar Barada was talking about 170,000 season ticket waiting lists, that tells you everything you need to know about Manchester United. Even if they're not in this country, people will still have plenty of people going in and using their tickets, and they'll use them as a business. And United know this as well. They know that people still swap tickets around. As long as they've got bums on seats, they don't give a shit. If they are getting so much for hospitality seats, they could have frozen the season tickets for a bit of goodwill. Yeah, you'd have thought, Jim, but it's a pipe dream, innit, mate? They were never going to do that. Cybernet Design, I've been going since the 60s. As you know, Adam, for the past few seasons, I've had a 50% discount. This has dropped to 25%, so much for loyalty. So, yeah, that is what I was alluding to at the start of the show. I'm actually glad that Cybernet has come in there and said that, because obviously you are over 66, I'm guessing, mate. You've been going for a long, long time. The season ticket holders who were pensioners or over a certain age got a 50% discount before. They are now going to be getting just a 25% discount. So the loyalty side of things, yeah, that isn't there with that one. And that's another one that I probably feel could have been dealt with better. Keep the 50%, I would have said. Keep it as it was. No need to change that. But yeah, it's even harder now for them pensioners and fans. Like Andy Tate messaged me before, he takes his dad every single game. He makes sure he gets in. He's had problems this season as well with him, but he's obviously a bit concerned now for him. I don't think his dad could afford that extra 25% that he's now going to have to pay. So that's the concern with a lot of fans. It's not that the 5% is low and it could have been more. Wake up, Adam. Wake up. Wakey. Love. Greg, thanks for lowering the tone a little bit there. It was a good laugh, to be fair, Gray. We deserved to do some mouthing. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about there. Sorry, mate. But I think it's about the game, isn't it? Linda says, Adam, my husband is 71 and had 50% discount, but now only 25%. That means his ticket price will be almost double with the 5% increase. What a terrible way to treat the lifelong season ticket holders. That one, there's no argument for. I think they have been shafted, to be honest. The pension scheme going up to whatever the national pension is as well, which is 66 now, isn't it? They're going to be paying, not going to be getting as much discount as what they got before. And with the percentage, the 5% going up as well, yeah, it is going to hit them hard. I just look at this and go, whichever way they were going to do this, it was going to hit and it was going to hurt fans. It was. Unfortunately for most of the season ticket holders at Manchester United, I don't think it's going to change, and I think it is just going to keep on going up and up and up. And the only way they can counter this is by hitting the players, getting the squad sorted, and giving these fans a better brand of football to give them any argument whatsoever. Which is where I want to move on to the next segment of the show. I've talked over half an hour about ticket prices there, so I want to move on a little bit. Please give the video a like, everybody. We're creeping up to that 200 live like mark. Again, thank you everyone so much for being part of the show and liking the video. All of your comments have been bang on the money, but I do want to move on to everything else that is going on around Manchester United as well, because there has been some talk of possible transfers as well. Manchester United from Florian Plettenberg, as you can see at the bottom of your screen there. Manchester United have been closely monitoring Eintracht Frankfurt striker Hugo Ekitike and RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko. Victor Gyökeres and Victor Osimhen remain high on their list. I mean, what we're going to look at is, realistically, there, Manchester United looking into these strikers only if we get in the Champions League. There's no other way. Manchester United need a proper striker next summer. There's a lot of people talking about that, honestly. We know it is getting to a point where Rasmus Højlund needs a little bit of help. We know this. We've been watching it all season. And that investment that's the only way that you're going to get anything back out of the fan base in terms of being on board with any decision for Manchester United. They're going to need to be watching a better brand of football, which is going to be better players, which is going to be recruitment, which is going to be investment into the football side of things. We need to see that. And I think that's the argument from Must as well, in like, hold off. At least show us a little bit of investment from you and a couple of seasons of getting the football side of things right before you start making us pay more. That's the argument when you look at it that way. Manchester United are among the clubs interested in Anthony Semenyo from Bournemouth. Could be one to watch in the summer. That's going around from quite a few people, actually. Semenyo he's terrorised defences this season for Bournemouth. He was the one that rinsed Kyle Walker and sent him to Milan, basically. He is rapido and has had a fantastic season for Bournemouth. Only now we're seeing Bournemouth drop off. And that, I feel, is where we're actually at and what is actually going down right now. So I'm just reading other news as well alongside everything that's happening. But yes, Semenyo, is he good enough for United? That's what we're asking right now. I did do a second video off the early morning live show as well, which is out on YouTube on the channel now as well. Go watch that. About Guerrero as well, and Manchester United meeting with certain agents that are necessary for getting in with certain players. The players that I think United are looking at will be the likes of Semenyo. The reported fee is approximately €35 million for Semenyo. Now, I don't know. In fact, actually, let me just double check on Semenyo's contract situation while we're actually at it, because it sounds pretty cheap for Bournemouth. I don't see them going in and letting anybody take their players cheap this summer. So let me just bring this up right now and we'll see what Semenyo's got. So yeah, he's absolutely stacked on his contract. He's contracted until 2029. His market value is €28 million, so about 25 million quid. He's worth more than that. What would they sell him for? I don't know. In the Premier League alone this season, he's had 11 goal involvements, 7 goals, 4 assists. So I just don't see it. I don't see Man United being able to get him. I don't know. I mean, what? He's 25, winger, dangerous, very, very quick, good player, very good player. I would give United a different dimension, but can I see it happening? I honestly don't know. Right? Anybody who is worth more than 30, 35 million right now, I'm putting a question mark on for United. For this summer transfer window. I expect the recruitment to be clever. I expect it to be a little bit more savvy than what we've seen before. I just don't expect United to be going out and spending willy-nilly. I don't think that is going to happen at all. I don't know with Semenyo. I like him. I like the player. I do. I just don't know if United are going to be able to afford a player like that. Because I think Bournemouth are quite within their rights to slap a massive price tag on his head. So, yeah, when I look at that, I go, maybe not. If you can get in for 35, that's not really a bad deal, is it? So, yeah, let's have a look at it that way. I'm just going to, actually, by the way, everybody, we are reliving the Leicester game straight after this show over on Big Up as well. I'm just going to drop the link into the live chats right now for you all. There it is. I'll just pin it up there as well. Come and join us for the relived Leicester game. We will go through all of the goals. We'll go through all of the action in that game and talk it through. Go through some better Manchester United performance there in terms of the players as well. Some standouts in that, like we said yesterday. But we'll go relive the highlights. That's what we can do on Big Up. So please click on that link and go through everything there. It's quite simple to join. It's dead easy to actually come across on Big Up. Completely free as well. And we can do a few more things there as well. I think... to round up the season ticket prices and the pricing situation and everything like that, when you look at it, honestly, right now, I expected it. Manchester United, 5% for the next 2 years for all season ticket holders. If you're under 16, then you won't get any price hikes. Manchester United's explanation for that, again, like I said at the top of the show, is to give the opportunity to the newer generation of Manchester United fans to come and watch the team. So under 16s frozen. Manchester United have given 5% rise to everybody else. Then pensioners of 66 and above, who were getting 50% discount, now only get 25% discount on top of the 5% hiked price as well. So really, it's double for the pensioners, and I think that's where it's going to hit more. Parking is going up 15%. Fans were going to be moved from the South Stand to accommodate executive seats now and relocated within other sections of Old Trafford. United will make a fortune off that. And all of this because the Glazers absolutely screwed Manchester United over and some. And that, I think, is what you need to really look at in all of this. All of this is happening because of the Glazers. And that is it. The scumbags that are the owners of our football club, it's what they are in a lot of people's eyes and what everybody in the protest was calling them. Leeches, they've been called a lot worse, to be honest, but zero investment into Manchester United. Someone has actually paid them to come in and invest into Manchester United to try and organise their books to make them more money. That's the argument against Ineos, and the Glazers are still going to sit there. They're not going to give any money for the stadium. They're not going to put any money or invest any money to clear any of the debt at Manchester United. They're just going to make the fans pay for their debt and their mistakes. And that is it. That's how you look at it. And there's no other way of looking at Manchester United and the predicament that we're in and the finances and the issues that we've got at this football club. It's all down on the Glazer family. And I don't think it's ever going to go away. It's never going to go away, is it? Because they're always going to be there. The team may start performing better. The team may start actually doing better with this new recruitment. And there is positives there on that side of things. But it's still an unknown, and we still don't 100% fully know if United are going to return to them glory days. We know that they are going to make Manchester United's finances better, Ineos that is. But you're never going to be able to forget that the Glazers are the ones that caused all of the problems. And they're sat there still earning a fortune out of Manchester United. And that is always going to be there with every single Man United fan. And yeah, 5% is low. But when you look in the finer detail, it isn't really for everybody. And that, I feel, is where they are going to hit the pockets. Everything that they thought they could make in hiking the prices up even more, they will make in that executive section in the South Stand easily. And that's how they're going to make their money back. And that's where they're going to raise what I can only think is substantially more money on match days. A few more comments. Let's get them in, everybody. The Glazers are a bunch of vampires, Adam, says Lewis. They've sucked the life out of Man United anyway, haven't they, mate? This should have been done so much sooner given the financial mess the club is in. How on earth can a club operate in such a way? Expect to lose many fans who can't afford it, but fans who can afford it will take their places, and I think that's the whole play, Mr. Dacio Sandero, sadly. And that is where it is going to slap a lot of fans. Let's just see. I reckon they might try to keep them after they've won the money, you know. I'm not sure what that is, actually. Someone else replying to someone. Babs, didn't surprise me at all. Everyone is going up. Nothing ever decreases, whereas income stays static. Yeah, Babs. I know. Jim will walk away if you call him any names, guys. The Glazers are good guys who never invest or pay their debts off. Good guys, though. Yeah. Ticket prices have gone up 15% in 3 years, around 120 to 220 per ticket, depending on the area. Tickets make no difference to what we can achieve. 5% isn't low. If you take into consideration the last 3 years, well, 5% is low right now when you look at what it could have been. I think that's the argument in all of this. I'm over the moon with the small increases. I don't know if that's in pure sarcasm block, but thanks for the super chat, mate. I appreciate all the super chats tonight. There has been plenty of them as well. Listen, that is where I'm going to wrap up the show, everybody. Thank you so much. Slightly earlier on a Monday because we're busy. I have got another show now on Big Up where we're going to relive the Leicester game. We're going to watch back the highlights, pick out the moments, analyse it, go through the tactics and everything that was different for Manchester United yesterday over on Big Up. The link is in the live chat right now, everybody. So come across there, join us there. We're going to have a quick fire recap show there as well. I hope to see you all over there. Please do come across. We'd love to see more of you there. And yeah, we're going to watch something a little bit more positive and talk a little bit more positive because these shows are as hard as they are, need to be there. We need to do them. But it still doesn't make it any easier. But yes, United up the season ticket prices as expected for the next 2 years, guaranteed. And they are making a bit of money elsewhere within the stadium as well. But that is it for now, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Have a great evening. Come and see me over on Big Up right now. You could even do a call-in if you wanted and have your say on everything going on with Manchester United. But for now, that is it, everyone. Thank you so much. I'll see you all here on FUTV in the morning if you're not coming on Big Up. 8 o'clock.